what does it mean from your perspective to be a man?
Um, I will say it's an evolving definition, and I'm still trying to figure it out. For a lot of times, I was grieving because I felt like I wasn't a man. Like my imagination was dominated by these pictures of masculinity that were very narrow. You know, the the muscular, physically fit uh, He-Man, attractive to the ladies. Um, that's that was my narrow definition of what a man was. Um, but more recently, I've sat with people who've reminded me that a man is someone who provides and protects and is capable of doing hard things and sacrifices for those that he loves. Um, and those are those are things that I can do. So it makes the experience something I want to invite myself to now, because for a lot of my life, I really believe this lie, um, that Ryan, you're not a man, you're not human. There's you're you're something else. You're something else entirely. You're like a man, but not quite.
Mm. So, with that being said, how has your identity, or how has having your disability impacted that identity that you hold as a man?
It's been hard to even want to grasp it, because um, it feels as though the wider culture holds those views, that that um, people with disabilities aren't fully human. You know, either fully man or fully woman in the case in the case of women. So it has made me feel isolated, has like made me feel like I'm at the kids table of life. That's a good analogy to put to it. Like when you're setting up for like Thanksgiving dinner, you got the big people's table with the nice silverware and the plates and the tablecloth they've been using for 40 years. And then for the kids table, they bring uh this card table and paper plates out, kind of like setting it up on the fly. So like everything with me kind of feels like set up on the fly, and kind of like disposable.
Mm.
And if I'm not careful, I feel disposable as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's powerful, man. What do you think the hardest part of being a man with a disability is?
The hardest part of being a man with a disability is being a man with a disability. Like, and what I mean by that is like radiating that, showing people something outside of the the narrow the narrow box and the narrow images that they hold, and even realizing really that who I is is who I am. And like I am a, I am a man with a disability, but you can't look it up in an encyclopedia. You can't you can't you can't Google search it. Like every man every man with a disability is their own man with a disability. And the purpose of this is to bring um, men with disabilities together, and I think that's great because um, you know what did human societies do do and what have they continued to do throughout the generations? Br- bring men together. They had these masculinity rituals where men would get together and they would do certain things, and they were like formed and initiated by these things. Like go off into the woods, get bit by a snake. You're like knighting you, you know, you're a man now. And that was so awesome for a boy, because now he's no longer clinging to his mother. There was a clear distinction. Like you were one way, but now you were a boy, and now you're a man, and with a man comes certain gifts, certain strengths, but also certain responsibilities incumbent upon those. And I feel like this could become a whole conversation about how our culture these days um, doesn't have um, those um, those initiations, or the initiations we do have are um, um, toxic and damaging versus building up, and like you can actually handle life by those. But
Mm-hmm.
what I see is that in what you're doing, um, in cataloging these stories, is like weaving together this beautiful quilt of this is this is our these can be our patterns of initiation. This is what it means to be a man with a disability. Like we all have unique expressions of it, but maybe we can find like some universal touchstones that we can say we all have solidarity in this, and this, and that we can be proud of, and we can come to the little boys like we were, who are full of that, you know, just excitement and joy, and they haven't they haven't experienced rejection that's led to self-rejection yet. So they're like every other American boy, like, oh, the world's my oyster. I'm gonna go out there and get it. And and we can come alongside them and say, don't try to don't try to live into this script, because we've tried to live into it, and it's made us reject ourselves. But instead, this is the script that we've found from our collective experience to be true. Like I was listening to this thing. I i forget i forget who said it. I think it was a Jewish rabbi, but it was kind of saying, like, our culture is kind of like, um addicted to comparison.
Mm,
And he said it's kind of like, if if you're if you're a if you're a fish, but you're looking at a lion and saying, "Oh, I feel shitty about myself because I'm not a lion," but not realizing that, like, there's so many benefits to being a fish. And I don't know, Nathan, maybe we can find that in doing this work and bringing men with disabilities together, we can stop trying to be lions and be fish, and realize that there's a hell of a lot of benefits in being a fish, and being able to um, qualify what those are, so that we can take pride in it, rather than feeling bad about ourselves because we don't fit into the dominant story.
well, you're sitting here talking to a man who's most known for his rubber ducks. So I guess I can get behind being a fish.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great, man. So what's one message that you think society is getting wrong about masculinity and disability?
that men with disabilities aren't real men. That a real man ha- has to has to has to be able to walk. Um, and I don't know. It's a mindset. We're always judging ourselves based on something outside ourselves. And, like, take the question, right? Like, what a man is, like. And when we close our eyes and imagine that, we're like, we get a picture, we get a picture in our head. And if I were to ask you like what your picture is, it doesn't look it doesn't look anything like I look right now. And I would be willing to bet you, Nathan, that most men, disabled or not, when you ask them picture what picture what a man looks like, they don't picture themselves. And so what is society getting wrong about masculinity and disability? I would say that masculinity doesn't look any one way. We have to give that up. Um, Masculinity starts within the man and goes out to what the man gives, not not what the not what the man does, but the impact that the man has on others. Because I think if we judged it by that criteria, I feel like it's a lot more inclusive criteria. A lot more men would be able to say, you know, I provide for people in these ways. I protect people in these ways. I I did this hard thing yesterday, and I sacrificed in this way. So like, um rather than this caricature of a man, um we need to realize that it's a man's, the those traits that I described, like, aren't aren't um they're deeply ingrained into what a man is. It's how they um receive energy. It's where their source of being comes from. And to I would say, if I had to put it succinctly, I keep um I keep redacting this answer. But we we the dominant society denies men with disabilities the opportunity to provide, the opportunity to protect, the opportunity to do hard things, the opportunity to sacrifice. And so oftentimes we've had to create those opportunities on our own.
So you just got done talking about one message that you think society is getting wrong about masculinity and disability. I want to know, what's one message you think you're getting wrong when it comes to masculinity and disability?
That my image in the dictionary should be myself. That when I want to know who a man is, I shouldn't have to look any further than me, because I'm all I can really speak on with any of authority whatsoever. You know, so many people on social media are so confident about, this is what this is what masculinity is, this is what femininity is. And some people would say that, um, you know, there's a gender spectrum, and that tells me that maybe more people are looking inward now and deciding for themselves, like, this is who I am. Like, I am my own definition of of what a man is. And I haven't done that. You know, I've been the fish wanting to be a lion my whole life, and it's left me feeling just completely and utterly gutted. Um, but I've been given this gift of myself, um,
Yeah.
to know and to care for, and to pro- provide for and protect and sacrifice for. And I haven't done that. So if I desire to do that for others, if that's what we're determining is the criteria for a man to be, um, then I need to start with myself.
What's the most challenging thing to talk about as a man, and what would make it easier?
I would say shame in general, and that can come from a number of places. For me, it most chiefly comes in the realm of sexuality. Um, but it's this idea that when I look at myself, there's this instinct or reaction that says I am deeply wrong. You know, that there is something in mind that God had in mind when he created masculinity, and I'm not it, you know. and like, what would make it easier is like to have people be like, I've felt that too, that sense of deep satisfaction, um, with myself. And I've always envied the people that, um, just exist in their friend group, and they have a role there. They might be the goofball, they might be the planner, you know. um but they just exist in it, and they never have to wonder, like, am I gonna be accepted by these people? Like, are they gonna decide it's one day too much effort to, like, um let me ride in their car, or, um you know um stop off to go to the bathroom, or, and it's just the I've always envied the feeling of contentment, like, I'm here and I'm a part of this group. and that I know when I'm in the group, I know who I am in the group. I'm the funny guy. And like they derive so much like identity from that. And I feel like my experience of interacting with others kind of feels like tap dancing for money. Like, watch what I can do. And you do the little show. They they let you dance for a while, and they're amused, and they throw some change in your case, and then they move on. Um, that's what conne- connection feels like sometimes. Um, and I don't want it to I don't want it to feel like that anymore.
Yeah, I that resonated with me from my own experience. So I appreciate you sharing that. I just have a couple more questions. Uh, who's a man that you admire and why?
I would say a man that I admire is my brother, and I admire him because um, we grew up in the same environment with the same um, scripts thrown at us about what a man is, what a man does, and he took some of those things, but he rejected the other things, and he is writing his own definition of of what a man looks like, and he's not spending time anymore um, sad about the fact that he doesn't fit into the to the narrow definition. Like, he is courageously and boldly living out his his definition that is himself, that he's writing, and that that is very courageous to me.
A message with your younger self. What's one message you want to leave with that little boy?
Don't spend your time looking outside to tell you who you are. Instead, be curious about the things that are inside of you that have made people go, "Oh wow, Ryan, you're amazing." Like, they're not blowing smoke up your ass. Like, they're seeing something that um you need to invite yourself to see, because either they're all lying to you, or that they're all they're all seeing a truth that you have to either accept or spend the rest of your life making a conscious choice to deny that it's actually there. And I think um, no time is too soon to start really believing in yourself. So do it today. Don't waste any time.
You're gonna be the first guy that I've asked this question to, but I came across it and I really I like the way in which this person I saw do it. Um the way they asked it, but I want to make it specific to disability in our community. So, what do you love about your disability?
Love that it's awful sometimes, and it forces me to forces me to do hard things. Um, like I can't speak for other men, but I wonder if an able-bodied man has to work work really hard to um, make make sacrifices, and like in the in the in the culture, it's like punish your body. Well, my body already punishes me. So it's like this day it's like this living is this daily invitation, like, okay, are you gonna do it or not today? And that's the experience of disability. Like, the experience of disability is either either 0 or 100. The, there's not really not really an in between, because you're not just dealing with um, the regular everyday physical challenges, but you're dealing with environmental challenges of places um, not designed for you, people not not welcoming of you, and um, you know that's that's every day. So every day is is filled is filled with obstacles, and I think I could I could say that that's one thing I love about my disability, and one thing I hate about it. But that's what I would say that I love the most, is that it's it's terrible at times, because every day is a every day is a fight. But we've discussed today that that's exactly what a man wants. He doesn't he doesn't want it he doesn't want it easy. So men with men with disabilities, get ready, because it's a it's a it's a bumpy road, but it's a road that every man deep inside would um, kill to travel, because it's everything that gives a man life and value and purpose. Um, if only we see it that way.
My final question for you, man, is what do you want to be remembered for?
That I lived, and that I was present, and that if you needed if you needed someone to listen to you, I'd be I'd be there to listen to you. And if you needed someone to just sit with you, I'd be there to sit with you. Um, just someone that was there for you, and you appreciated me being there.
Definitely appreciate you. I appreciate this conversation. And I know that somebody who listens to it, watches it, is going to have a lot that resonates with them um, when they participate with us in this conversation. So, thank you for being you, my friend.
And Nathan, thank you for creating this space. It's new. No one's ever no one's ever done it before. And I think that's exciting, and I'm excited to watch the other interviews and and see what I can learn. And